Hey everyone, this is Stacia here, and I am here with the one, the only, JacobyMatt.
Hi guys.
If you don't know him, his name is Jacob Jennings, and he is, let's call him a 1000 rated chess player.
1100 at post tournament 1100.
Well, I didn't want to ruin the result. Okay.
Listen. I said post tournament. Now,
And
this implies that
chess.com.
I won some games.
Yeah.
I am playing a 1300 game one, so anything can happen.
Yeah, so he played a tournament this past weekend called the Cincinnati Open, and he lost all his games horribly. That's why we're showing them. No, no, obviously not.
If I did that, I probably cry myself to sleep right now instead of being up this late recording because the first recording died on us. So you know what? We're gonna take two. We roll up the punches and we move on to five.
That's right. I mean, when you fail at something, you try again, and then you beat a dead horse into oblivion. That's my motto. So,
Speaking of dead horses, no, we're not going to spoil it yet.
so without further ado, let's get right into it. So you're playing a 1300 here. Your rating was 996 at the time, so a vastly overrated opponent compared to you.
Let me set the stage for you guys, since I bet that there's at least one person out there that's never been to an over-the-board tournament, or maybe he's only been to a few.
True.
So, Friday night, pull up to the hotel. It's pretty calm, pretty relaxing. Round one pairings are up. Awesome. Everything's, I'm chilling right now. I see my opponent's rating. And I'm like, oh, crap. But I say good news. I'm playing white the first game. And so I try to take him in my territory with playing e4.
Best by test.
Yes. I don't know if my opponent doesn't like open games or what. They play c5. The whole point of c5 is to fight for d4 and say, hey, you can't go there. So what do? We go there.
We can't go d4? You talking to me? D4.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so they take the pawn because that is the move. And we say, hey, have another. And he takes, and we take with our knight. So we are down a pawn, and in exchange, we have great lines. The horse is developed. The other horse is going to develop. We're going to castle. We'll be fine. The pawn doesn't matter.
Yeah, we do have full compensation for a pawn. And, okay, everyone on my channel knows this opening. They should at least.
And this is called the Smith-Morra Gambit.
Yeah.
And you hate the Sicilian and have nothing better to do with your time.
It's really an awesome opening. So I'm so happy you played this. So let's see what happens.
So my opponent's first semi-questionable move, and I don't hate this move. I feel like I need to emphasize I don't hate this move, is a6. And there's a couple ideas behind this move. Firstly, it stops bishop to b5, which is just a good move for my opponent, or a good move for me to play, I should say. Perhaps knight c6 and b5, really just trying to play aggressive early, try to make up for his lack of development.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he should go a6 this early in truth, but it's fine. It's a useful move. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, not great, not horrible.
Does not develop, so, but...
Yes, and I will explain my one rule of the Smith-Morra Gambit very soon here. That I don't know if I said this or Stacia said this and I'm stealing it, but, we'll cross the bridge later.
You can always
I played
steal
knight
my
f3.
rules. All right, knight f3.
What were you going to say?
I said you can always steal my rules. That's fine.
Perfect.
I stole all of them anyway. So, thank you. Thank you, Ben Feingold.
Yes, thank you,
let's keep
Ben
going.
Feingold. Yeah, so I play knight to f3 because it's just traditional Smith-Morra. You're going to want to try to get the knight and the bishop out, then you're going to want a castle. So that's the typical idea. If anyone knows me who's watching this video, I don't play typical chess, but I'll play typical chess for a little bit. And my opponent plays e6 in this position, and that's a very simple Sicilian-like move. If you're familiar with a lot of Sicilian variations, e6 is a play to get the bishop out, like Stacia just drew that arrow. It's just a very solid move.
It's good.
Now, there's one rule with the Smith-Morra Gambit that if you don't play it, or if you're black and you want to try to figure out, emphasis on try because you never will, a solution on how to beat it, you can't play normal Sicilian when you're going against the Smith-Morra. It leads to a lot of problems. You're just going to end up getting brutally beaten like my opponent did this game. And so I play bishop c4. Typical move. Like I said, get the horse out, get the bishop out, castle the king. What does Stacia say? Never hassle, always castle, right? Something along those lines.
Well, how about avoid the hassle? Always castle.
Listen, it's too late at night. Okay,
you didn't say corny enough, Got to put more corn in there.
Yeah, more corny. Yes.
No, it's cool.
I will contact my local corn deity to. And my opponent plays the only piece you're allowed to develop naturally with knight c6. So far, so good. Mm-hmm. And I play what I'm going to call my one of two really bad moves I play this game. And now this might be a stretch now that we've looked at this a couple times. But one of two moves that doesn't have a valid justification for it. Can I say that?
Let's call it dubious. Dubious is a good word.
Okay. So I play a3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was telling him this earlier, but, in the Smith-Morra Gambit, we sacrificed a pawn for a
tempo.
Lead in development, right?
Yes. Multiple tempos,
so
actually.
When we use
words are hard.
So, yeah, if we waste a tempo on a3, like our lead in development could go bye-bye. And then we don't really have compensation for our pawn. So that's why I don't like a3, but all right, your opponent wastes more time coming up, so it's all good.
Yes. And by coming up, we mean half a move. Oh, wait, hey, time waster.
Okay, well, it counts a tempo at least, but...
and now suddenly he plays b5 and my a3 move looks like I'm a genius. That was my computer. Okay, that was terrifying. That's not a normal sound. That was my computer fans kicking on. Okay.
Oh, I thought maybe the aliens had landed finally.
Nope, the cows are still here.
They're still there? Okay, we're good then. We're good for now.
Yeah. And suddenly, the move b5, hey, it looks like I'm genius because now my bishop's safe. But as Stacia said earlier, you're playing the Smith-Morra Gambit. You don't care what he's doing.
Yeah, sometimes I think about sacking that bishop, but here I think your move's absolutely correct. And plus, your a3 move's a little justified now because you got this nice little hidey hole for your bishop. So I kind of like it.
Exactly. So then my opponent plays queen to c7. Mm-hmm. And now, initially, when I play this move, now I like to notate my moves as I play them in the game. I also semi-often make videos on my own channel, which I'm not going to shamelessly plug, but I mean, if you want to check it out. I notated this with an X-Clan. I have now recently, and by recently I mean 5 hours ago, notated this with a question mark. Because apparently, and by apparently I mean it might be quite obvious when you see it, this move sucks. E5.
E5, yeah. It's kind of a cool idea, but yeah, it doesn't work here. Right?
Yeah. The idea is what happens in the game. Knight takes, bishop pins. So far so good.
Not a bad idea, but yeah, so you pointed out later that
I
there's
forget what move I pointed out.
Bishop d6, you said.
Yes. Right.
And I agree, that kind of like, it just breaks the pin, and it's kind of like, oh, you kind of sacked a pawn for nothing, so...
Yeah, but whatever. It's 1300 chess.
And now that they actually are threatening check and take and then win your bishop. That's kind of sad.
So, wasn't a great move. Wasn't horrible. Actually, okay, it was.
Okay. Well, it's a normal Morra move. You just played it a little too early, that's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a little
Speaking
too
of
early.
Normal Morra moves, nope, too soon still. All right. So spoiler alert, yeah, that doesn't happen. My opponent decides to take with check. I take with my queen as to not hang bishop. And now we see stage 2 of the metaphorical prison is set. Now, you probably were looking at this whole game and didn't even see that metaphorical prison. Jacob, what are you talking about? You're insane. You just found that conveniently. Yeah, maybe. But I found it. Is that all that really matters? And so my opponent now plays queen to c6, offering a trade of queens. And I need to make this the main line. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that breaks principle big time. But I like your response to it a lot.
But, yes. So to those who, what do you estimate, like under the 1,000 level, this is probably an important lesson, like really important to get over 1,000. Okay. So one thing to keep in mind, whenever you're trading pieces, and I saw this on Twitter recently, you do not want to trade unless it is fantastic, fabulous, or else you could forget about it.
Okay, nice.
Or no, it's not fantastic, fabulous. It's fantastic, forced, or forget about it. Now, this is not forced by any means. I'm not in check, and I would not be hanging my piece if I don't trade. And it's not fantastic because I'm down 2 pawns, and this just wastes even more time for me to allow him to get a better position. And those 2 pawns suddenly become major liabilities. So I decide, hey, I don't want to trade these pieces. That's fine. So I look, what options do I have? Well, I can move the queen. Didn't really see a good spot for it to go. Or I said, hey, why don't we just play gutsy chess? I'm playing a 1300. What's the worst that can happen? 95!
Yeah. Where's our notation? I love it.
Okay. Right there, 95. Whoa.
That is a cool move. Now, Stockfish may laugh at it a little bit, but shut up, Stockfish. We don't care about you. This is a good move.
Now listen, okay? We say Stockfish may laugh at it, but this is us recording this for the second time. So I can tell you, Stockfish loves it. Now, kids, if you're watching, whenever you play a game with a sacrifice like this, do not look at it with Stockfish for at least 3 days. It is for your own sake. It will break your heart.
Yeah, exactly. Stockfish is really good at telling us we're all terrible and we suck at chess. So
yes.
So yeah, just wait 3 days before you get that splash of cold water on your face, and let yourself bask in the greatness of your game. Yeah, so I love this move though, knight d5. I don't care what Stockfish says. I don't remember what it says, but
I remember what it says, and I'm going to get to that point in a minute. But let's first look at what all knight d5 is threatening.
Yeah, let's see what your idea is.
You can never take, because you're going to walk yourself into a skewer. It's threatening this fork, and it gives your knight no real good square to go to. That was a complete misclick. Okay, we love it.
Okay, if they played that, we have to send them back to beginner class.
No comment. Yeah, it just shuts everything down. And it's just great because you can't take it. And as well as if you take it with the pawn, now the e file's open. So it's really, what are you going to do about it? The answer is nothing, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like it because look at the white position. Once this king castles, white is fully coordinated. Let's check out black's development, shall we? Knight in the corner, lined up with a queen, unprotected. Bishop can barely move. King's still in the center. Entire king side hasn't moved yet. I mean, this is what we live for in the Morra, and so I love knight d5. It's the way to punish this, in my opinion. So bravo. I mean, you could also castle. I'm sure you're still doing well, but knight d5 puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. So
now this is the part where no one will believe me when I say this, and this is strictly because that we have filmed this before, and we've done all this before. But I can vouch, Stacia can vouch for me, that I found this without Stockfish. Black has one drawing move here. Audience, if you want to try to figure it out, go ahead. I'll give you a second to pause the video. Okay, you're back. Black can play bishop b7.
Mm-hmm.
And you might think, who in the world is going to find bishop b7 Stockfish? And if we do want to go ahead and check the computer analysis here very briefly, Stockfish loves it. Says it's
so if you do this, I guess you're saying they take with the queen? Is that what happens?
Yes. So the idea here is that if we check, they take with queen, we take, they take, we take, and the material exchange is equal. We keep the bishop pair, but we have these doubled pawns, and we're allowing them to develop now.
Yeah. Yeah. They can develop easy finally.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. I do buy it. Bishop e7's a really nice move. That's hard to find, I
exactly. And it's
think.
like, who's going to find it? Spoiler alert, not my opponent. My opponent instead plays probably not the worst move in the position, but definitely not the best either. EX. And this immediately falls victim to a skewer.
Yeah, so I think he saw that, but he's like, well, I get a knight, so.
Yeah, he said, and I quote, and to my opponent, I am sorry if you're watching this. He said, I saw the attack you had, but I didn't realize it was that strong.
Interesting.
Deeply
Interesting.
apologize for it being less strong, but it was. And now I want you to notice that this rook's prison is almost complete. You can see where that comes into play very shortly.
Yeah.
So my opponent decides, hey, I don't want to lose my queen. Plays queen f6. The only real threat that this move contains is possibly taking this pawn. But if anyone wants to go ahead and look at this, a filler move, someone quick filler move, yoink. If they take this pawn, and I'm just going to force this into a variation really quick. If they take this pawn, they're in no man's land. We just castle.
Yep, just castle.
And they're done for, right? Like you have nothing.
Yeah, the rook actually, I mean, I guess they can try to go here. I don't know. This looks ridiculous.
They're still trapped.
I mean, there's check and there's.
We go here and we're picking it up immediately. There's
Oh, yeah, you're right. Immediately a fork, so that does nothing. And yeah, all the white pieces are streaming in, and once again.
And again, you have nothing. I'm sorry, but you're done for.
Yeah, so black cannot even think about going pawn hunting here because we will go king hunting.
Yes, and danger levels, king is more important than a pawn.
It is? Oh. So I'm learning too.
Ever so slightly, but like a sideways 8 is worth more than a 1. So, yeah. So, spoiler alert, that doesn't happen. I play queen to e3 check, and now, as you'll notice, the idea that has been mentioned the whole game, the rook is now in prison, and we can take it whenever we want. And one thing you might be saying is, again, just going to play filler moves here. What happens if, sorry, I'm doing variation stuff really quick. What happens if, I don't know, they play bishop here? And, hey, actually, wait, no, bishop e7 is good. That kind of defeats my idea. Okay, I'll discuss this idea later if I see the opportunity.
It does?
because the idea is the skewer, but...
Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, but if they play bishop b7, we just take, so it's all good.
But, anywho,
okay.
Yeah, the rook's still in prison. Like the rook's done for. Where are we at? We're on new 14 black. Okay. Which, speaking of bishop e7, la di da. Oh gosh, my brain is dying slowly.
Yeah, and just look at black's issues now. Okay, that bishop is pinned. The knight wants to come to f6. There's a queen there. It wants to go to e7. There's a bishop there. It wants to go to h6. It would get captured. Yeah, the position is just so difficult.
That poor Horsey, just stuck in prison till the end of time. And so now, little scared 900 me, I'm starting to gain my confidence a little bit. And you can ask Stacia when I gain my confidence. That's a terrifying thing. So, I play bishop e5 because I'm like, okay, this rook's still in prison. It's not moving anywhere. And, my bishops are now coordinated. I've made this analogy before. I'll say it again because I actually truly think it fits the situation. A lot of people in a war scenario, they fear snipers. one thing they fear more than snipers is the guy that's not afraid to run right at them with a machine gun. And that's what these bishops are doing. They're running right at you. They're in your face. You can't avoid them. And they just completely dominate the square.
Yeah, I mean, look at this domination. I mean, they're just like sitting there. They control everything. It's like, that is just
again,
wild.
He has nothing. Like, that's the important thing to keep saying. He has nothing he can do.
Yeah.
So, of course, he decides to move his queen out of the way. And I say, okay, fine. I've had my fun. Give me the rook.
I think that's right. Gotta
Yeah.
take that.
And now I will, hint, foreshadowing, tell you guys to keep your eye on this square. So I don't know if anyone's trying to play along with the moves at home here. Just keep that in mind. So we got bishop takes a8. And, okay, that's weird. All right, and we have d6. You know, whatever, we're chilling. Now, I don't know, there's this not-so-famous creator, I don't know if you guys, Gotham Chess, I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Yeah, he teaches this concept called danger levels, where, like, it doesn't matter if you're being attacked as long as you attack something more valuable. I don't know, I mean, you might have heard of him, you might not, I don't know. And I say, okay, let's have some fun now. So now I'm playing the game of truly bully his queen. So
bishop
he plays
f5, right?
Yes, bishop f5. That is the only. I don't know. It's not even a good move. The only.
I mean, I guess he's developing. I'll give him that credit.
he's developing by pinning. Yippee!
I mean, he is threatening to take your bishop, I guess.
Yeah, but at this point, too little, too late. Regardless, I take. And now again, pardon me, Stacia, for not being too familiar with your audience's experience level and stuff. But I don't know how many over-the-board tournaments you guys have been to when you're watching this, so just keep this in mind. There is a rule in the USCF that if you touch a piece with the intent to move it, you must move it if you can. And that's the rule that typically everyone knows when they go to a tournament. That's the rule that tournament directors will typically say when they're doing their pre-tournament spiel, everything. There's no subset to that rule. I believe it's called touch take, correct? Or touch capture. That if you touch your opponent's piece with the intent to capture it, you must capture it. So my opponent here picked up my bishop and had his queen in his hand. And then I think he saw that this move existed. And then I'm over here because, again, it's Friday night. I'm tired. It's actually probably about 10:45 for that Friday night. And I'm like, no. No, it wasn't 10:40. It was like 9. No, it might have been 10.
Who knows?
It was a time in the evening. And I'm just telling him, because initially I was like, okay, think about showing mercy. But I have also lost a game because I didn't call touch move with my opponent before, and I ended up losing that game with the piece that would have been done got. So, do the right thing, and like Stacia and I were analyzing, letting him take here is still winning. Because we just pop back, and his queen is completely trapped now.
Yeah, and the bishop guards the rook. We're all good. Yeah, so you could have let him have it, but I mean, in a real tournament game, especially a slow game, like the right thing to do is follow the rules, right? So you did the right thing in forcing touch take, I think. So
he takes here and I get a tower.
Yes.
And so my opponent at this point is very quickly running out of ideas. He plays knight f6, finally developing that knight. I mean, it's about time. And he lets me take this rook for the idea of knight g4. But by this point, it's definitely 100% too little too late. Knight g4 protects this pawn and adds an attack, oh god, it's definitely getting late. Attacks this pawn and attacks my queen. But I can just defend it all and offer a queen trade. He decides to check me. I block the check, and in this position, he resigned. because no matter what you're doing, I'm pretty much either guaranteed to be trading queens or picking up this knight. Nothing you can do about it. I'm going to castle on move like 25 and get my rooks into the game. And there's just nothing you have here as black.
Yeah, it's
and
sure.
I've also made up my pawns back that I sacrificed.
Yeah, you're up so much material here. It's just crazy. So yeah. So awesome game, especially knight d5. So I like to click through these games real quick at the end. I'll just give some thoughts as I click through it, but
just let us hear Stacia's thought train.
So Smith-Morra Gambit, best opening ever. E6.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like H4, that's got to be up there in the best openings list. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't played that one though. But okay, A3, yeah, we'll call that dubious. But before that, you were both playing like grandmasters, following theory, I would say. And then B5, good. Queen C7.
I mean, A3. I don't think it loses as many tempos as it seems. Like, I don't think it's still horrible.
I don't know. One tempo is very important in the Smith-Morra. Like, I know this because at my level, if I waste even one turn sometimes, then I'm just down a pawn. Like, it can happen so fast. So, like, just get used to just developing as soon as you can. Like, instead of A3, like, I would probably, without thinking, just castle. Probably.
Gotcha.
I think this is just a better move. Because then your idea is to go queen e2, rook d1, and, like, put even more pressure. So, like, a3 is just not needed. Because if they want to go here...
f4 worth looking at before castling?
If you're worried about this, though, like, okay, now he just took his knight, his horsey, went on a journey to die. Like...
Yeah.
like if that's what he wants to do with his horse, okay, go for that, I guess. I would let him do that, you know. So okay, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I said to the horse sounds like an average Zelda playthrough, but I also wonder if instead of 7 castles, I wonder if his bishop f4 a move worth looking at as well before castling.
It's probably not a bad move at all. Like, the only reason I don't bring out this bishop so fast is because it's not always clear where the bishop belongs. Like, it might belong on e3, it might belong on f4, it might want to go to g5.
Gotcha.
But we know where the king's going. So we can play the move that we know for sure.
Oh, no, I play pretty wild chess, Station. You know this.
That is true. That is true. But in the Smith-Morra, like, the king will almost always go to g1 or stay on e1. Like, there's not... I don't see him do too much else, but...
Gotcha.
You know, if you're playing, who knows? He could go to, you know, e7. I don't know where he's going, but... Yeah, so, I mean, a3, I mean, you understand. You understand. So, yeah, e5, I like the idea behind e5. It's just too bad it didn't work here. Again, I would just castle, you know.
But, I mean, it worked out in the end, so, like...
Well, yeah, because he did not find that bishop d6 thing. Yeah, I'm not sure why he took
a suspiciously long time on this move, too. Like, I played e5 before I saw bishop d6.
I think you made him very uncomfortable here.
Oh, probably.
He was worried. He probably saw this and something scared him off it. I don't know what, but something did. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. Okay, but... So this works out nice. So now you're just much better, I think.
And now we summon our inner Gotham chess as well.
Yeah.
Here first, yes.
This reminds me of the Opera House game. Do you remember where at the end, the Duke and the Count, like they move their queen, like unpinning, and it's like a desperation move. It's like, please trade queens, please. Like, I feel like that's what this is. He's like already scared. He's like, please just trade queens with me. And you're like, no, thank you. Knight d5 in the face.
And I'm gonna be 100% honest. If I was like 1350 and I see this this barely 1000 kid play knight d5 against me, I'm like that's where you just know you're done for.
You know, he probably was like, "There's no way this works. I know, I'll just take it." Unfortunately for him, it does work. It very much works.
So what's the best lesson? If you take nothing else away from this video, when people are playing up sections, it's because they probably can.
Yeah, that is good. Now that's something I know when I play a low-rated opponent, but it just makes me scared, so I'm not sure. But okay, yeah. Now check here. So I thought this was a little bit dubious too because this is a moment where I would calculate, can I take that rook? Because I am not afraid of them pawn hunting because, like you said, we castle. They're not taking a rook and now their queen's misplaced. So this is probably better, but your move's just fine. I think your move totally is winning.
I liked the idea of castling, like just to explain to you and the viewers, I like the idea of castling because it gave me time to do other stuff while keeping that rook frozen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, your idea was actually really cool.
Because it just ensured that no matter what, I can do other things. I can work on ensuring that he stays undeveloped. Because that's the hard part of the Morra, right? Like, you sacrifice a pawn, and then you just have to ensure the whole game they stay undeveloped.
Right, right. Like Bobby Fischer would call it a bind. We want to keep them in a bind.
Yes.
Yeah, and that provides sometimes attacking compensation and sometimes positional compensation even. So like yeah, that binding idea is really nice. That's what you did here. I mean, I actually think I really like the way you played it. I mean, my way is kind of lazy. Like, oh, I'm just going to take the rook. Like my way is kind of lazy. But
I think Stockfish likes your way though, but whatever. It's Stockfish doesn't know about 1300 chess.
Sometimes the lazy way is right, but your way is interesting. Like you really, I mean, your poor opponent, he probably was like, what is happening? You know, he's like, why can't I move anything?
What's funny is he said,
look what you did. You're like, take, come back.
Yeah. What's funny is my opponent said it was his birthday the next day. And like literally before we both went up to our hotel rooms, I said, well, happy early birthday, I guess. Because there's like I kind of felt bad.
You're like, I got you a gift. It's a Checkmate. I hope you like it. Well, I guess he didn't get Checkmate because he resigned. He didn't want his birthday gift, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Still would prefer a Zelda game as a birthday gift, but you know, Checkmate's close second.
And I think I mentioned before too, I might not even take the rook because the rook, like I think in terms of like what pieces are active, what are the high quality pieces. To me, the knight is actually in the game and the rook is not. I would probably do this. They can't take back with that. They go here. And then I would castle because this just looks too easy. But I mean, your way is really good too, obviously. I like it.
But I mean, like, rooks are scary, you know?
They can be. Mm-hmm. But I mean, once you're developed and your rooks come streaming in, you know, you just double on the file and then it's like game over. This is game over anyway. Everything's game over. You ended with a queen trade. That's a little different than a normal Morra way to end the game, but it worked. He resigned.
At this point, I'm just in the end game, so I'm like, haha, queen go burr.
I would probably try to do some brilliant checkmate, but, you know, then I would blunder and maybe lose. So.
Well, no, but I mean, like, even then, though, like, even this queen trade, there's, like, every move I made was always multi-level in this game, apart from, like, a few obvious ones.
Yeah. No, this is a good
queen
move.
trade, you have one safe square to protect this knight, or else they all hang.
Yep, I like it.
There's always, and that's another, like, huge thing that once this clicked for me in chess, I improved a lot. Always have multiple purposes when making one move, because you're only given one move.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you could do as much with it as possible, and I know this just sounds like if you hear this spoken, it's kind of common sense, like if you hear it, but it isn't until you apply it that it actually clicks.
No, but you're so right. I mean, too many people just make a single threat. They don't think about. I mean, okay, if you're doing like a fork or something, but they don't think about like positional things and keeping an eye on this knight. You know, I like this. I mean, the queen trade is a good decision.
Even a fork, if you don't, even a fork, if you don't realize it, that's your two ideas. Attack one piece, attack another piece. That's two ideas. So even if it's just as simple of ideas as that, those can be your ideas.
True. Truth. So I guess maybe last thing is we run the computer analysis. Now, full disclosure, we did this before. I wonder if it'll say the exact same thing or if it'll be slightly different. I guess we'll see.
Whoa, okay, it is actually slightly different.
Wow, it is. So last time it said 2 inaccuracies and
zero
one.
mistakes.
Yeah, 0 mistakes, but 1 blunder, right? So it changed
Yes.
one to a mistake. For your opponent, it actually says 1 inaccuracy, 2 mistakes, 2 blunders. Okay.
Which that was the same.
So 84% accuracy, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah,
So
I need to get that up though.
the inaccuracy was this move. I mean, that move's
Excuse me.
good. It's like winning. So I don't know. Whatever, Stockfish. Mistake was this.
The stock was just like take the rook first, and honestly, I didn't.
Oh yeah, like I said, like take the rook. Oops, sorry everybody. I had the chessboard
Wow.
off screen for a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. No, it's okay. We can still post this. This is our second time everyone posting this, so like because I screwed up the first one.
The first time OBS just decided to hate us. Like,
yeah,
no,
it like.
Don't get me wrong. I love OBS to death. It just decided to hate us.
Yeah, I need a desktop computer to record with that sometimes, but
you know that's you're I'm telling you, you're gonna win the Cleveland Open right there. See that's how we get
it. Okay, I'd love to win that, but so what was your blunder then? What was the blunder?
E5, the pawn.
Oh yeah, E5, which we knew. We thought that was a blunder. Yeah. So there it is. So yeah, and then
if we take a look at it really quick, I need to find it again. Where's the green highlight? Oh, okay. Interesting. So if we turn on the engine lines here very briefly, when I was talking through my analysis, Bishop B7 is the only move that's good for black. Now, I don't have that many good ideas. But when I do, it's stuff like that.
Yeah, you saw that was the only move to hold on, which is cool. I mean, it is hard not to take the knight. I mean, if you're 1300, it's hard not to take that knight. I mean,
if I'm a 1300, I wondered how I even got there in the first place.
Yeah.
Why did I play a Sicilian?
But this is why moves like this I think are so good, because if he does not find Bishop E7, then he's lost. You know, yes. It's like he's lost.
And I will tell, because I'm assuming there might be like 1 or 2 masters watching this video, and if there's more, don't be afraid to comment and prove me wrong, because I enjoy being proved wrong.
Yeah, and correct me too while you're at it.
Yeah. That like, don't play risky chess, but also prepare for what if your opponent plays perfect, but don't expect them to play perfect.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, I mean,
I guess that's a good thing.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, if I was calculating this and I didn't even consider Bishop B7, let's say that I just didn't even see it at all, that means I should play this. That's what that means, because we have to trust our own calculation. Now, if I saw Bishop E7 though, I'd probably be like, well, worst case scenario, I still have a nice position, so I would still do it. So I like Knight D5 a lot. Like after this, I mean, even the computer says like white's better still. So
yeah.
So yeah, this is nice. I mean, we have Rook C1, tech the queen and stuff. So yeah. So, wow, what a game! I mean, this was around. I think this is the day before my birthday, or maybe actually my birthday. I don't remember what. But I considered this I considered this a really nice birthday present for me. Seeing you play like this.
And now, for those of you who don't know, I am going to go on record and say I am probably the most positional E4 player you'll find.
Yeah. And also defensive. You love to run your king around, like sort of the opposite of me. But here you played like a madman. This is great. I like this stuff. You played like a wild fox. Shout out to Sticks. So with that, I think
that was not scripted, but you know what? I love that.
yeah. So I think we're done, right?
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
yeah. So awesome. I hope everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of JacobyMatt in the future and his
Yeah, and I
chess.
mean, like I said, I'm only 1100, so I mean, if you have any advice on the game, please comment it. I'm going to be reading those comments probably, so don't be afraid to critique me constructively, please.
Yeah, and
But
me too, of course.
yeah, yeah, and Stacia as well. But I mean, like, any advice is greatly appreciated, and that's what makes the chess community so great, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. All right, everyone. We will see you next time, and we'll be back with more chess.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye.